This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Previously on TV Tuners.
Stairmaster, your post-shower interview?
L, what did you put in the canisters?
Basketball is now canceled.
Finally, I've become the youngest CEO of a games company in history.
Yeah, I know it's a few minutes before close, but can I get 1,800 chicken nuggets?
I'm feeling quantum right now.
Basketball will now resume.
I've never betrayed anyone in history.
And now, TV Tuners resumes.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews.
What?
I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and daring rebel, who's first time piloting, Stairmaster.
It's okay, I got the manual.
Yeah, that's enough.
And severe autism.
Yep, evidently. And with us, as always, of course, is our co-host and dad, who's too busy to deal with his son's bullshit, Kyoran.
I don't have time for this. Let's get out of here. Go back to the crowd, kid.
Yeah.
And with us is our green orb. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we have... now, Stair, who is this person?
This is my new friend I made in the wake of Elstath.
Oh.
Elgato
Yes.
Bagina?
Yes, my name is Elgato Bagina. I may resemble somebody you used to know, but be
I don't
not
think so.
afraid. I have
don't see it.
blonde. I have blonde hair and these really huge sunglasses, as you can see.
Oh! Okay, now I see it.
Yeah, I call her L for short.
Yeah, let's all just call her L.
That's a good nickname. Let's call her L. Well, welcome to the
I have
show,
no
L.
problems with this.
Yeah, first time on the podcast.
How's it feel?
It feels good. It feels refreshing.
You're not
like
afraid?
You like the guest
I'm not
chair?
afraid at all. Why would I
Are
be
you
afraid?
comfortable in the guest chair?
I am comfortable, yes. Is there like a trapdoor beneath the guest chair or something?
No,
It has a-
no.
No,
Okay.
we've never had to use it in Denver since
Oh.
we've been here. We
Yeah.
haven't really had a whole lot of guests, but I'm glad that Stair made friends. Good for the podcast.
Yes.
And I guess for him.
Oh, did you see those murals in the Denver airport on the way here?
Yes, very
fucking
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
Very
how'd
weird.
you two meet?
Well, it was much like a late '90s rom-com where I was just going about, living my very metropolitan life, and
Both Cosmo and Metro.
I work in international advertising, and I was just simply too busy, and I wasn't looking where I was going. And
Oh,
then,
yes. And I bumped into her while carrying 40 gunpla kits, and they spilled everywhere.
Yes.
Oh.
And then I was disgusted, and I said, Baka, what is all that nerd shit?
Oh, okay.
Are you some kind of anime geek?
Yeah, and I just responded with a tirade of slurs, and that really impressed her.
So you said
Oh.
you said Baka. That's not an English word I'm aware of. Can you explain that to me, please?
That's not really true. Baka means fool or idiot or, unlearned one in Japanese.
Yeah, why'd you say that if you're not a nerd? I don't understand.
Sounds.
Oh,
Well, it sounds to me like Elgato knows a lot of languages.
Yes, exactly. Because I am so international and cosmopolitan. I just pick up
And metropolitan.
languages. Yes. It's kind of like in Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. And Al Pacino plays the devil, and he knows basically every language ever.
Yeah. Is that the one where his name is Lou Cipher?
No, that's Angel Heart.
Oh,
Also
yeah.
a good movie.
It's not Al Pacino, it's Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Common mistake.
That movie's wild.
it is.
I can't believe they have 2 devil movies. And
Well,
one has
yeah.
Robert De Niro while the other has Al Pacino.
Yeah.
What year was that, Angel Heart?
1987.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It stars Mickey Rourke before he was terrible.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke, but when he was still human.
Before he became like some roid monster.
He became.
That sounds like a Gundam plot.
He became Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Toguro the Younger, to be clear.
That's good. Welcome to TV Tuners. If you like what you're hearing so far, why not consider subscribing? We're available on all of the podcast apps of your choice. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. You can find us
8-track?
there. Yeah, we're on 8-track cassette, CD-ROM, floppy disk.
Or available in a set of over 40 discs.
Yeah. You have to call our 1-800 number, and a representative who was just Stairmaster will sort it out for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
it's
I
on
have to memorize the
QVC.
phone number, too, now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to remember that now, too. What's the phone number, Kiorain?
1-800 TV tuner.
That's right.
And
I know that doesn't
work.
I don't know I know that doesn't line up necessarily. Actually, I think it does. But if it doesn't, just keep pressing the extra numbers.
TV tuners stir.
So yeah, you can give us a subscribe, give us 5 stars, maybe a review. It'd be real helpful. And
You can also compliment us on Twitter.
yeah, there's tons of great TV content over at TV Tuners on Twitter. Nothing but TV content over there. Just tons of great stuff. No Gundam talk.
Today, we retweeted an image of Gordon Ramsay stuck in a freezer.
And who doesn't love that? Well, that's one way to cool that notorious hothead down.
Damn, my nipples are hard now.
How am I supposed to cook like this?
The
Can I ever
bisque is
tell you-
ruined.
Can I tell you guys my idea of a new Gordon Ramsay cooking program?
Ooh.
No, what is this?
Alright, so it's like his current show, Kitchen Nightmares, except he doesn't talk.
Interesting.
What's he do?
Whoa.
So he goes in the restaurant and he tries their whole menu, and he quietly eats it. And
Yes.
then when he's done, if he likes it, he just leaves.
What if he
Maybe.
doesn't?
Doesn't like it, he kills everyone in the building.
Oh, all right.
Like John Wick style?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I'd be
Or
into
the knife.
watching like a Gordon Ramsay show styled like Green Room,
Hmm.
where
What, he accidentally goes to a Nazi restaurant?
yeah, he has to fight. He has to fight his way through all the Nazis.
So do you think that idea has legs, guys?
I
I
would
feel like
watch.
there would be some liability concerns and logistic issues.
Look, you would sign a contract and you would know what you were getting into.
Yeah.
And like,
Well-
I would imagine it's like a thing where like Gordon Ramsay comes in, he's wearing like a suit, and like as he takes off his suit jacket, you see like 2 like automatic weapons just like under them.
2 scorpions.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I'm unsure about is, should he be completely silent during this entire thing, or should he say a couple things, maybe?
No, he'll like make like faces and like noises, but he won't speak. He'll only speak at the end when he is determining whether or not it's good.
Al, do you have any recommendations for weapons if you were going to kill a restaurant full of people?
Well,
And Al, be very careful not to make it sound like you've already thought about this.
yeah. You kind of put me on the spot here. I mean, personally, I would probably go with like an RPK with a drum mag.
Oh, I was just thinking a bunch of sawed-offs with birdshot taped to your body. You can just tear off and drop when you're done with them.
That's more flashy, but
That's cheaper.
God, this conversation's
maybe.
already getting us put on a list.
Yeah. What do you advertise again?
Like medical devices that like kill people. We get sued all the time.
Oh.
Wow.
Like they're designed to kill people? Or
Well,
they
The
accidentally...
suicide booth?
They're not designed to kill people, but it's just what we're known for because we have so many ongoing lawsuits.
Oh, yeah, you love to see it. The medical industry at work.
The penis pump that works too well.
I think I changed my mind. I think Gordon Ramsay needs to just kill with superhuman strength.
That'd be fun too.
Like he goes into like a Hulk-like rage if the food is bad.
Yeah, it's normal rage.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't like get all muscular. He just gets angry and just starts like, just like punching people through walls and stuff.
Maybe his shirt would explode as a compromise.
Yeah.
These divergent interests.
I'm sure he's pretty well in shape. Anyway, that's at TV Tuners on Twitter. You can also use the hashtag TV Tuners, and we'll give a glance at what you're saying. But if you require a more personal touch, if you want to like give us something that you want read aloud on the podcast, perhaps, you can email us at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Kiorain?
Yeah, that is 1-800-TVTUNER.
Yeah.
That's right.
At gmail.com.
That's right. Send us your quips, comments, questions, and foresights. We'll be waiting. And with all that out of the way, Stairmaster, what's our tweet of the week this week, bud?
This tweet of the week comes from user Ikizawa at DeleteJesus.
Good
They
one.
write, had a dream where I got my one true desire, and that desire was Spider-Man 4 directed by Sam Raimi. Tobey Maguire got fucking abducted by aliens. It was hella cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is a wholesome tweet.
It's
So
everything
also-
we all ever wanted.
Yeah.
It's
Is
beautiful.
that what they were building to in the Spider-Man trilogy was Spider-Man 4 where
He's in
there
space.
was aliens?
Honestly, like I could see it happening. Like,
He goes to a symbiote planet, and it's just a planet made out of goop.
Yeah, exactly. That actually, the symbiote planet is canon too. So,
I mean,
Well, there must be a planet where it came from. Yeah, right.
If you think about it, like it's something that hasn't really been done before. It's something that needs to be done. I mean, what other 4-part movie series that ends with a disastrous 4th movie involving aliens has ever been attempted before? I mean,
I can't think of any.
Just
Okay, like honestly, I'm the TV novice here, and also the film novice as well. So I can't think of
double
any.
novice.
So you're gonna have to help me out here if you're being sarcastic or not.
I'm talking about Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know you're talking about Superman.
Isn't Superman an
I
alien?
will never watch those.
Yeah, but there's also an alien in 4. The Sun Man.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's technically.
An alien?
Yeah. What about the Nuclear Man, who's inexplicably voiced
That
by
is
Gene
the Sun
Hackman?
Man.
Yeah, he becomes the
Wait,
Nuclear
what?
Man. Yeah, Gene Hackman does all the grunts and stuff for Nuclear Man in Superman 4.
What the fuck?
Because I guess they didn't want to pay someone else to do it. So they just have Gene Hackman going like, "Rah!"
What, did they have like some weird Nordic man playing the Nuclear Man? in Superman
Yeah, I think
4?
so.
Who couldn't
Some-
speak
It's some guy whose name escapes me, who I don't think acted in much afterwards.
Jackie Cooper?
Could
Mark
Yeah.
McClure?
be
John
for
Cryer?
all I know. I don't know. It's not John Cryer who plays Lenny Luthor in that horrible movie. No, the Nuclear Man is played by a guy named Mark Pillow. Who he might be related to the My Pillow guy. I'm not sure.
Oh man.
But yes. So what were we even talking about? Oh, this tweet. Yeah. I would watch a Spider-Man movie where he's abducted by aliens. Symbiotes seemed like the obvious one. I guess you could maybe, if Sony still owned the rights to the Fantastic, or I guess they never did. If Sony got like the rights to the Fantastic Four, they could do like Skrulls or something.
I'm picturing just like green, big-eyed aliens with like a UFO.
Oh yeah, you know what? How about Spider-Man versus the aliens from Mars Attacks?
Oh no!
There you go. How about that one? That's a good one. Get Tim Burton on as like a producer.
Oh, I would. I don't think I would like to see a Tim Burton Spider-Man.
Tim Burton, Sam Raimi joint production.
One of them directs the first 90 minutes, the other directs the last 90 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Has anyone done that before? That sounds like a good idea. That's sure to be a disaster.
Well,
I mean,
a good idea is the one that will always result in a bad product.
Yeah. I mean, I would watch it if you told me that, like, I'm getting a movie where half of it is by one director and the other half is by the second one, and they're just, like, conjoining them.
Well, they've never done it on purpose, but that has happened a lot.
Yeah.
The director would just drop dead or something.
Including Superman. Superman 2.
Or Justice League.
Yes.
17.
Maybe we'll get to that. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, I'm tuning in on this bad boy.
Yeah, that's a tune-in for me.
Yeah, that's a tune-in for me. Gotta love it.
You know, I'm an edgy outsider today, so I'm going to tune out.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Fuck. It's Raimi, man. The Raimi trilogy is godlike. Even the third one, which falters under scrutiny, is still
under scrutiny.
Still
by watching it,
a certified classic. Yes, the scrutiny is watching it.
The idea of Spider-Man being abducted by aliens, in general, it sounds kind of like something that should only be in your dream and not actually something we want.
So yeah, the congratulations, you're the winner of this week's Tweet of the Week.
You won the internets.
And now that that's out of the way, you might have noticed from the episode title that we're doing something a little different this week. So let's get in there. Let's hear what the rabble has to say about this 40-year-old program, Mobile Suit Gundam.
Well, I got the lowest ranking review that we could find on this earth. It comes from a user Psycho Juna on my anime list because all the reviews on IMDb were overwhelmingly positive.
As they should
I heard about this really old anime called Mobile Suit Gundam, and if you know me, I love old stuff. So I decided to watch this, and after a month or so, I finally completed it. So let's start complaining. Story sucks monkey balls. Spoilers. Story was bad. 4 out of 10. Art was really good. 7 out of 10 for the art. There was a lot of spoilers, I can't say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
soundtrack was okay. Voice acting is not the best, and sound effects are good. I especially love the solar ray system shooting sound. It sounds so disastrous. I would give it 6 out of 10. Characters suck. They do dumb decisions and just punch each other. I hate them so much, and everyone just dies and cries so loud. And it's pissing me off. Characters are bad. 3 out of 10.
Were they, like, hoping to get, like, a peppy, like, war show?
The show is not pro-war enough.
Where
I need someone who loves the killing.
Everyone in war is being perfectly rational and making good decisions the whole way through.
Yeah, that's how wars are happen.
Yeah. I enjoyed some parts. I liked when they are not battling because that's what you see, the 70% of this anime. And sometimes it's really boring. And my favorite episode was the first one because it had characters interacting. But in the next episode, it's just boring fights. But some fight scenes could be awesome. Like the SRS, solar ray system. This guy really likes the solar ray system.
Wow.
Where the solar ray system destroyed everything on its path. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Overall, I give Mobile Suit Gundam a 5 out of 10. 5 people found this review helpful.
Out of how many?
IMDb does not say.
Oh, okay. So
my anime list.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I got the next one here. This is from IMDb, although it's really long, so I'm going to cut out about approximately 4 paragraphs.
Hopefully more.
Well, I'm going to keep in the last bit here and the first bit and cut out the middle. Okay. Do not be alarmed. It is just the opening theme song and the animation. This is by Zam Taro.
Oh.
Who says, I am not what people might call a quote-unquote longtime fan. My first Gundam show was Gundam Seed, for crying out loud.
Oh.
I have heard the outcry of many fans as to the unoriginality of Gundam Seed. Hence, I decided to go back to the source and check out the original 1979 Gundam series, the legend that started it all. My chance came when it was shown on local TV for a while. Too bad it never completed its run and was replaced by the 3rd rerun of Gundam Seed again.
Oh.
Oh, the horror. My thoughts exactly as I sat through the painfully campy opening theme song, as I shook my head in disgust over the horrendously childish lyrics that sounded like some rejected theme song from Tetsuwan Atom. That's Astro Boy to you guys in the West. I prepared myself for the worst disappointment of my life. And I was so proved wrong. Gundam's story was anything but childish or campy. It presented a very real and very engaging war story about a gifted youngster and his friends thrown into the heat of combat by circumstance. Bunch of shit about the story, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's a bunch of boring stuff.
Admittedly, this is not an easy series to get into, mainly due to its age. Already mediocre compared to other anime series that came out in the late 70s and 80s, the animation style is painfully dated compared to today's fare. But I urge all you people who are hungry for some well-thought-out war drama to look past the superficial aspects and embrace the essence of what Gundam is. Look past the dated animation, skip the opening theme song if you must, and you will find out why Mobile Suit Gundam is such a well-respected and influential anime classic. 4 out of 5 found this helpful.
Really harping on that intro.
Yeah.
It is very tonal.
I mean, I'll say up front, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, but it definitely gives a bad impression, I think. It
for sure.
Seems more like a superheroic vibe.
Yeah, and then within the first 5 minutes, people are getting blown up.
Yeah, there's family annihilation everywhere.
What do you got, Keo?
All right, so I've got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Ooh.
It says, good mecha series, but don't respect any realism of any kind.
Oh?
Oh, no.
By Claptrap Reigns. So, it begins with a sentence that's a continuation of the title.
Ooh.
Because it's not realistic in the slightest.
Oh.
How? Alright, by the way, all these realistics are in scare quotes, for whatever reason. How realistic is the fact that the bad guys have a gazillion different versions of mecha to drive, or to have people with superhuman abilities?
Okay.
Or guns using shells in space. It's simply not. That said, a good series with a bit of 70s sexism thrown in it, with some elements still linked to the mecha anime of this era. The flying white base of operations, the transformation of the Gundam mecha, etc. And extremely reminiscent of Star Wars. Recommended.
I mean, I don't know why you would look at this and say I'm expecting realism. Has there been a Gundam series that's like, this one's realistic?
Well, I didn't get to the number of people found it helpful.
Oh,
0
sure.
out of 1 found this helpful.
Just decimated.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going into Gundam shows, especially the OG, expecting realism.
Yeah, and I mean, also the gun thing is stupid because they have those huge thermonuclear jetpacks, so we wouldn't have to worry about the firearms recoil besides accuracy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, I guess it is sort of reminiscent of Star Wars, but not any more than anything else in the era that was sci-fi.
I guess this is like if Star Wars was just 2 hours of Luke finding his parents dead.
Yeah.
And dealing with that. Or his uncle.
Also, Char is never revealed to be, connected to Amuro's backstory, is he?
No.
Well, it's like Star Wars because it has space and also people are fighting. So that's pretty much Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, that tracks. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what the rabble said. Stay tuned later, near the end of the show, for what we said. Yeah, the true tunes. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and what you guys watched this week. You guys watch anything fun, interesting?
No.
All right, so I didn't watch anything, but I did buy raw and unfiltered honey.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. What are you gonna do with that?
So far, I've tasted it, and it tastes pretty good.
Okay. Where'd
Definitely
you get
tastes
that
better
in Denver?
than. I just bought it at the grocery store.
Okay. You gonna put it in your tea?
Yeah, put it in my tea. I'll probably spread it on something. I don't know.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I actually did watch something this week.
Oh, what a shock!
I watched the CBS made-for-TV movie from 1999, Final Run, about a train ran by a computer that goes out of control.
Now, this was made in a similar time span to Atomic Train.
Yes, the same year.
Okay.
This is so much worse, though. They don't even try to hide the fact it's a speed ripoff, except there's no villain. You don't have a Dennis Hopper.
And it doesn't explode like an Atomic Train, spoilers.
That's the thing. They do blow up the train at the end. For no reason, he puts a bunch of dynamite in the locomotive before jumping on a helicopter and flying away. And as the train goes off the rails into this gorge, it explodes and it's just vaporized completely. Unnecessarily.
Well, no need for cleanup.
Yeah, there you go. I think the thing that makes Atomic Train stick out for me is the fact that they fail completely.
Yes. Yeah. Atomic Train also has its element of grit and danger. Yeah. Which doesn't work because the protagonist is a 50-year-old Robert Urich. Well, I don't even think there's any real shots of him crawling on top of the train. It's on the side, by the guardrails,
They probably tried to get him to do it, and he was like, no thanks.
Yeah, the most dangerous stunt he does is trying to uncouple the train.
So was there some kind of, anti-train hysteria they were tapping into with these films or something?
Yeah, or anti-nuclear. Perhaps.
I think this one was Fears of Computer, because it was a sequel to a film in 1997 called Final Descent about a plane ran by computers that goes out of control and flies through another plane, exploding it.
That sounds cool. Can we watch that?
Wait, so did the plane keep going after going to the other plane?
Yes, for 2 hours.
Is there a plane that can do that in the real world?
No.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I would not recommend it.
Yeah,
I had to pay $4 on Amazon to rent this because you can't see it for free, unlike Atomic Train, which is on YouTube right now.
That's you saying you would not recommend crashing your F-14.
If you have one, I would not. There are better things to crash your F-14 into, which I cannot talk about on this podcast.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna lightly remind the two of you that we did actually watch something this week together.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We watched we had a little movie night in our TV Tuners Discord, which if you're looking for, you can find on our Buy Me a Coffee page. And we had a little movie night where we watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh,
good movie.
The Hidden Dragon refers to passion.
That's right. The Hidden Dragon is his dick.
That's what the dragon was the entire time?
No, he never even gets to use it at all.
Yeah, he doesn't unsheath.
That guy died in incel.
Yeah, spoilers for L.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Wasn't he more of a Volcel?
Yes. He was not. It
line.
wasn't involuntary. Yeah, it's a good movie. Good stuff.
He was made an incel by his culture.
Yeah. Incel Nation.
It's cool when they fight.
Yeah, the fighting's cool. The story is a little all over the place, but I think it wraps up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Keo, what were your thoughts on it? Do you remember anything about it?
I was having an ADD evening that night, so I didn't really pay attention to it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Bad.
Cancelled.
But yeah, I would give it a tune in.
Yeah, it says a tune into that movie.
It's a tune out. It was boring.
Keo tuned out because he had ADD that day.
Yeah, and Elgato fell asleep halfway through.
I was just gonna say I joined for like maybe the first part, and then I just kind of passed out, to be honest. It wasn't anything against the movie. Like, I'm sure the movie was great.
Yeah, Al DM'd me to say this shit's gay.
No,
Who cares?
I DM'd you to say this is very straight and this is very good. Wait.
Yes, as we know.
Wait, no, I'm fucking digging my own grave here.
Okay, I would have been able to follow it better if it wasn't a subtitled movie, but having to give it all my attention was just too much to ask at that time.
Maybe I should have picked the dubbed version.
Maybe.
I don't think that exists.
It did. It wouldn't have been so big in America if it wasn't dubbed.
Well, maybe. And yeah, I'm gonna tune in on that. And I did watch something else, a previous episode of the show. I finished watching Close Enough, the sort of regular show, but if they were all 30-something humans show by the creator of the regular show.
Ooh.
It was good.
That go? Ooh.
It was pretty much just, the regular show. Nothing too out of whack there. Just the usual stuff.
Did
There's
they kiss?
Who?
Everyone.
There's some kissing, yeah. Kissing goes on. And more. Because it's an adult show, Stairmaster.
Cartoon show for adults.
I would give it a tune in, but you don't have to get HBO Max to watch it. I wouldn't suggest doing anything insane like that.
Yeah, don't spend money on anything.
Yeah.
Extricate yourself from this wicked system so we can all burn it down finally.
Elgato, is there anything you watched you want to talk about?
Yeah, I watched a few things recently. Watched Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. Because Stair kept pestering me about it, and I called him on his bluff finally. I was like, yes, I will watch Char's Counterattack with you.
Had you watched any of the Gundam before?
Yes.
Yes, I've watched the original series. I've kind of watched Zeta Gundam. I've watched Ideon, which isn't Gundam, but it's like watching Gundam. Anyway, Char's Counterattack, very good.
Yes, greatest of all time.
Great anime film. I also watched SWAT from 2003.
With Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, and Colin Farrell and Jeremy Renner, and it's a weirdly stacked cast, but it's kind of entertaining, but it's just a little bit too long for its own good.
Yeah, I tried watching that once and dropped it after 15 minutes.
I think I vaguely remember this film.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of got a fun swagger to it, and it actually has a lot more action in it than I expected. But something about it just literally made me kind of tune out after a while.
Tune out.
But what I really want to mention is yesterday I watched Maximum Risk, which is the 1996 Jean-Claude Van Damme film directed by Ringo Lam. I believe it was Ringo Lam's first Western movie. And very surprising, very fun. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme. He plays this French cop, and he has a twin brother that dies. So it's like Double Impact, but more serious, and the twin brother dies at the very beginning. And he gets sucked into the underworld of the Russian mob in New York, I guess. So it's kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme's Eastern Promises. There's even a sauna bath fight scene that is similarly brutal to the one in Eastern Promises.
Can you see his dick in that one, though?
No. They have towels on, and I was...
They stay on the whole time.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think JCVD ever shows in any movie is butt.
Yeah.
Only shows them Van Damme's.
But yeah, very 3.5 stars out of 5. Very unexpectedly good.
Who's the maximum risk in that movie?
The
His
maximum risk is actually the FBI. The Russian mob is not the most dangerous element. It is the feds.
I'm gonna apologize real quick because obviously Van Gams were right there, and I didn't say it.
Yes, of course. But yeah, that's about it for me.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the news, huh?
Ooh.
All right.
I'm ready
so
for the news.
You guys may have heard this name before. Greg Berlanti. He's executive producer extraordinaire. He's got series all over the place, but most importantly, he's got series on the CW, where he pretty much owns the fucking network there. He's got all of the Arrowverse. I think he's got a couple other things there, and including Riverdale. And most importantly, he's got a new series in the works.
Ooh, what's it called?
He's going to give the Arrow treatment to the Powerpuff Girls.
Huh?
Expand on that.
That's right. Greg Berlanti is teaming up with some writers of his to recreate the Powerpuff Girls in a quote-unquote dark live-action version.
Why?
What?
Gritty
So,
Powerpuff Girls.
What if it's the exact same, but they're just goth now?
I thought all the charm from the Powerpuff Girls came from the fact that it was animated and you could
Very
do all
colorful.
this. Yeah, very colorful, and you could do all this crazy stuff. And
how are you
frankly,
going to put Mojo Jojo on the screen?
Oh, he's gonna be like the guy from Berserk with the exposed brain.
Oh boy!
I believe his name was called Void or something.
Yeah, it's Void.
They're going to do something stupid where Mojo Jojo is like a realistic monkey.
Then he's gonna have a monkey on stage,
but it's a full brain in view.
Controversy. CW genetically engineers primates.
The series is apparently going to focus on the Powerpuff Girls now that they are disillusioned 20-somethings who resent having lost their childhood to crime fighting.
Bubbles has an OnlyFans now.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
I honestly I'm honestly still a little bit shocked that anybody thinks, and this is including these drugged out producers that
these cocaine addicted pedophiles.
Yes, that anybody thinks the whole gritty reboot or gritty soft reboot is even like a tenable concept anymore.
Yeah, when was the last time it was successful? Even
that's a good question.
Bomberman for the Xbox.
you would describe that as successful.
It left an impact on us.
A bad impact where we're shaking our heads at it and saying, wow,
Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Another bad one.
Well, that's immortal now. So.
What about Shadow the Hedgehog? That was grittier.
But that wasn't a reboot. That was a sequel to Sonic Heroes.
It was a spin-off title featuring Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and Dante from the Devil May Cry series. What's the over-under on Professor Utonium being like a big piece of shit in this show?
100%.
Maybe you'll have cancer.
Yeah, because of all that chemical X. So
He'll just be bald and played by Bryan Cranston.
Girls, I did it for you.
Do you think the devil guy, the devil person, non-gender specific, will be there?
Oh, that's a good question.
I can't even say the name of
him.
Yeah.
That's a really good question because there's.
I guess that would be the easiest one, other than like maybe the Gangrene Gang to like adapt.
Wait, have the Gangrene Gang like just amoebas? That seems like that would require CGI.
No, that's the Amoeba Gang.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a different gang. Stare.
Sorry.
Your gang's right. Look, the Gangrene Gang are just like green people who look like street toughs.
Oh.
Who look like the Ramones.
All this speculation is actually making me look forward to it more, just because I want to see how they actually pull this off.
How they fail to.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Bad.
So yeah, we can all look forward to that when we inevitably have to watch it on the podcast. I'm sure it won't happen for like, I don't know, 3 more years because, coronavirus and all that. Should have just made it animated.
They already did that back in the... They had that Powerpuff Girls Z thing that no one watched.
Yeah, because it wasn't good.
Neither will this.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls Z was like an anime, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. None of us know. We didn't watch it.
Well, I saw it. Like, I saw it existed. That was years ago. And then they did a reboot, which is Powerpuff Girls, like, New or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like the new Gundam.
Yeah, that's right.
But that one wasn't gritty at all. And
Oh.
Z was just the anime version of Powerpuff Girls. This is a new territory we're going into here.
Anything can happen.
And, speaking of new territory and reunions, let's talk about our good friend Tim Allen. Friend of the show.
By which you mean informant.
Yes. It might shock you to learn that Last Man Standing, which I looked up and found out just the other day, takes place in Denver.
Interesting.
Is still on the air. Is
What?
still hanging out on Fox.
No
I think it's in his
way.
9th season now.
Wow.
And Tim Allen is looking for... I think he's preparing for the eventual end of that show by bringing back some desperate nostalgia. Of course, he's teaming up with his old pal Al from Home Improvement, Richard Karn, to do a reality show for the History Channel.
What kind of reality show? Are they going to be trapped in a house together?
They're trapped in like a house that's slow that they have to like rebuild.
Yeah, slowly falling apart.
It's gonna be like Big Brother, but it's just gonna be those two, and you just wonder when they're gonna have sex, and they finally do.
Some kind of antagonist who comes into the house and does some kind of damage to it that they have to fix.
Oh, the neighbor. From Home Improvement.
The new neighbor who is not Wilson
Oh.
because he's dead.
Wilson would never cause any
Yep.
damage to a property.
Maybe it's the wife. Maybe she's pissed off, and that's why she's smashing the house.
Yeah,
From all the years of mistreatment. And also not having a successful career.
I think she was like a psychologist.
Oh.
That's pretty successful.
I meant the actress, not outside
Oh.
of the show.
Yeah, I guess in terms of Tim Allen, in comparison, she's not had a successful career. Maybe it's JTT.
Who?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yes, that's what that stands for.
That is what that stands for. Everyone's favorite from Home Improvement, the middle child that everyone loved, whose name I can't remember.
The one that sort of looks like me.
Yeah, you think that was the one that looked like you?
Maybe. I can't.
Not the third one who became a goth and like everyone. There was a plot line where the parents thought he was gonna like kill it, like shoot his school or something.
Well,
What?
I never went goth, for one thing. And that's the only thing I have to rebut with this.
I might be wrong on this part, but I recall a moment in Home Improvement where Mark, I think is his name, the youngest son, becomes a goth and like is rolling like computers and shit. And they
like
like
Armor Ray.
they find some like chat logs or something where they think he's gonna like kill the family.
Yeah,
Was this a dream you had, Swanson? This
No,
sounds real.
someone on Twitter or on the Discord can confirm or deny this for me, but I'm almost positive this is an episode that existed. It wasn't like, I think it was played for laughs where they were like, there was no actual serious harm at any point because it was a misunderstanding, you see.
So
You see-
Tim Allen wasn't like standing above his sleeping son with the lightsaber ready to cut him down.
Yeah, and he woke up and like used his force powers to push him away.
he collapsed the roof over him.
Yeah.
No, you see that whole plot line was born out of the fact that groundbreaking anime Serial Experiments Lane had just come out, and they needed a way.
They were afraid of computers.
They
as a
needed a
result.
way to capitalize on the success of that show, and by incorporating cyberpunk and gothic aesthetics into the show, hoped they could channel some of its success. But
Now I'm just imagining like an opening sketch to a Home Improvement episode where Tim Allen gets like sucked into the wire like a bunch of masses ensnare him, and the audience just applauds and laughs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would laugh. That sounds like a funny bit.
There's a guy who just like he witnesses a guy blowing his brains out, and like you just see the blood splatter on Tim Allen's face with all this dramatic and bleak lighting.
Yeah, and the theme song
just
plays.
laughter.
Yeah, and then you just hear. So this show that's going to be on the History Channel is a competition show, tentatively called Assembly Required. And it's going to have Tim and Al, according to the press release, are going to have contestants take everyday household items and rebuild them with more power.
Well, so it's like they're jury rigging stuff like the cars in Mad Max.
I'm not sure what it means. I guess they're like, I don't know, putting an extra motor and like a screwdriver or something stupid, like like Tim did in Home Improvement. But yeah, it's I mean, they should have just called it Tool Time, but I'm sure that's copyright.
Yeah, I want like a spring-loaded refrigerator that like swings open and smacks you.
Oh yeah.
I thought the spring was underneath the fridge. It was like a little jack in the box.
It just falls on you.
Yeah, I guess that would happen.
Or
maybe it's like
yeah.
maybe the fridge is like in a hole in the floor, and so that's what the spring is for. It pops out like the buildings at Evangelion, and the disaster's over.
Yeah, that's good. Here's what the ad copy has to say about this Assembly Required show. Let's face it, we're living in a throwaway society. We buy,
Excuse me?
break, replace, rinse and repeat. Whatever happened to repair and rebuild? There are some people who unfriend, unfollow, and dispose of anything that offends, annoys, or breaks. I want to point out that this is written by Tim Allen. So I've created a show to remind people of the satisfaction and pride that comes from rebuilding something on their own. And who better to join me than my buddy from the old Tool Time days, Richard Karn. Now we're talking more power. Albert Einstein once said, "I'm not a genius, I'm just passionately curious." Well, let's get curious. Even a chimpanzee would at least show interest, right? Wait, I think I just came up with another idea for the show. And then he ends it by putting 3 R's, which I think is supposed to be the Toolman sound of like...
I think it's a code. I think Tim Allen's the new Q, but he's R.
He's R?
That sounds anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
I also think we should give Tim Allen the N-word pass like he wants as well.
Why not,
Because of this?
I mean, yeah, he convinced me. Like, you're talking about unfollowing people who offend you. I want him to say the N-word on Twitter, and I'm going to follow him as well.
I'm going to ask Tim Allen to say the N-word right now on Twitter.
Do you like this part at the beginning where he subtly steers it towards politics for no reason?
Yeah, it's a great way to open your stupid show about upgrading things or whatever.
Yeah. Also, who's just throwing shit away? Oh,
yeah,
well, that's no good. I'm just gonna throw it away. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who can just look up a YouTube tutorial and then repair and rebuild, as Tim Allen puts it.
It sounds like that stupid Biden campaign slogan as well.
Something's not working. I just throw it away right away, like instantly, and buy a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, my phone stopped working the other day. I threw that shit right in the trash. Now I got myself the iPhone 82.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll look forward to this. We're probably never going to watch it, because why would we watch something on basic cable? But, good. Best of luck, Tim and Al. More Al than Tim. Do you think he's going to say the line on the show where he's going to be like, "I don't think so, Tim"?
I mean,
yes, that'll be the first thing he says.
He has to. I mean, there's so little to this. There's so few things holding this concept together that they're going to have to pull out all the stops to make this even a tenable fucking show.
What is the power tool supposed to be made into? I can't imagine this not
a more
just becoming
powerful tool, like Tim Allen.
I can't imagine it's just not becoming BattleBots after a season or 2.
I would watch Richard Karn host BattleBots.
Hell yeah.
That would be good shit. But yeah, I mean, best of luck to both of them. Well, to one of them. The other one can do whatever. I don't fucking care about him. And that's it for the news. So let's get to this a segment near and dear to everybody's heart. It's Trailer Blazers. Hit the theme, Keo.
Trailer Blazer theme. Insert here.
Wow. Real stylish this time. Sort of avant-garde. Yeah, this week we did something a little different. We watched a movie trailer.
Ooh.
One that can't be held back any longer. It's the Snyder Cut.
My favorite kind of trailer is the kind where they show a bunch of seemingly unrelated footage over music that doesn't match with any of the footage.
At all. Yeah.
At all.
There's way too much going on in this trailer.
If you haven't seen this Snyder Cut trailer yet, do yourself a favor, pause, go watch it for a second, come back, because it's a doozy.
One might say it's a misfire.
Yeah, Hallelujah is playing, the Jeff Buckley version as opposed to
classic Snyder.
Yeah. So Keo, I don't think you've watched the movie version of Watchmen, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so Zack Snyder's already used this song in that.
Yeah, Keo only reads the manga.
Yeah, of course. I've read the Watch Individuals manga.
Who watches the Watch Individuals? Yeah. Yeah. In Watchmen, he puts this song over like a fairly dubious scene of two people having sex in a ship while they incinerate criminals.
That makes it about 5 times worse, just because. Yeah, I mean, this song choice is already like so baffling.
Oh yeah, 100 Red Balloons plays at a funeral for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of bad song choices in Watchmen, and that's like one of the most egregious. It's also weird because, at least in that one, he got it like the tone of the song right. Since Hallelujah is about like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, Hallelujah is about sex.
Well, there's no copulation in this film.
No, zero. I think Superman is incel.
I think that's one of the least sexy words there is, to be honest with you.
Hallelujah.
Both.
Yeah, and also we get a look at Darkseid, who's like if Justice League's version of Thanos, only he looks way worse.
It's not a great look, but luckily they'll probably just change it if he ever shows up in another movie.
Yeah.
Because cinematic universes are bullshit anyways.
He looks like an Xbox 360 like protagonist. Like
yeah. He looks sort of like Baron Von Underbite.
Yeah.
But goth.
So basically,
but really though,
yeah,
the footage in this trailer is just like showing like superhero action-y stuff going on and people like dying.
Yeah, if you don't know what the plot of Justice League is, this trailer will not help you understand what the film is going to be about.
But we do get a line from Ben Affleck at the end that's vaguely uplifting, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you should put that at the start of the trailer.
Yeah.
Or maybe not have the trailer be 3 minutes long.
It felt like a Marvel line. Like it felt like something they would have said in Endgame or Infinity War. Like, yeah, he might have gone up against all the demons in hell, but he's not gone up against us when our friendship meters are fully charged.
Still seems better than all the actual Joss Whedon dialogue from the
that's probably true.
version.
In the Josh Whedon version of Justice League, they have Superman say the line that Batman said to him about "Do you bleed?" Which is, yeah, that's bad. Anyway, this is, I mean, look, for as bad as Justice League Whedon version was, it was not as bad as Batman v Superman. And I looked it up, and it's been revealed, I guess, at the same place that this was revealed, at DC Fandom, which was like DC's version of Comic-Con, I guess, but also online. That this is going to be a 4-hour thing, split into 1-hour chunks.
Yeah, they're releasing it as a miniseries. I don't know how long the theatrical version is going to be. Hopefully shorter.
Yeah.
It's going to be longer, 5 hours.
Is it actually getting a theatrical release? I thought this was just a reason for HBO Max to try and, like, buoy its streaming service.
No, I just thought they were going to release a movie version on the streaming service as well for people who didn't want to do the miniseries one.
Oh.
Maybe. That might be too smart for them. Who knows?
Yeah. No, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same length. Zack Snyder's going to, like, release a tweet about how, like, it's longer and better than The Irishman.
Yeah. And it's for adults.
It's for adults.
Unlike The Irishman.
Yeah. Yeah, Zack Snyder was very quick to point out on Twitter that this is for adults. None of that kiddie bullshit in my comic movie.
So, are you saying DC comic for adults?
I'm saying DC comic for adults. DC comic for adults. DC comic for adults.
DC comic for adults. DC comic for adults.
Also, this isn't related to the trailer, but I feel like I need to point it out. Donald Trump also just used Hallelujah recently.
Oh boy.
So let me talk about why I think he chose this song for this trailer.
Okay, yeah.
He's just happy that he got to make this.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that probably is it. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, Keo, why do you think Donald Trump used it for the end of his RNC speech?
I think he was just excited about the fireworks.
He just really loves the theatrical version of Watchmen.
Yeah, maybe like him and Zack Snyder are teaming up since Zack Snyder's an infamous Rand head.
I think that if Trump tried to watch Watchmen, he wouldn't get it and he would get bored.
Trump would fast forward to only Rorschach scenes, and that's all he would watch of the.
And then he would start
the
using
Watchmen.
those lines in debates.
Yes.
So I think the conclusion here is Zack Snyder sucks doo-doo, and it's just a worse version of Michael Bay in every way. And he has like one good film.
Trump 2020, you're not stuck in here. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
No, that's Trump 2024.
Trump is gonna say, why did you say that name? Why did you say that name? That was my mother's name.
It turns out Joe and I have the same name, same mother, Martha.
Interesting stuff.
Actually, I feel compelled to research this now.
Yeah, Biden's going to show up in power armor. Not because he's going to fight Trump, but that's the only way to keep his failing body alive.
Yeah, it's like Metal Gear Solid 4, where he needs that in order to perform normally. To hold him
We cannot
upright.
continue this analogy because you know there is someone somewhere who's like, oh, but that means Kamala Harris is Wonder Woman. Anyway, that's a tune out on the Snyder Cut for me.
Yeah, I would watch maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes just to spite Joss Whedon, but maybe not 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, it should be clear in case I sounded at all favorable of John Whedon. Fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our main event of this evening. There's nothing good on TV currently, so we decided to go back through the annals of time to find a show worthy. And luckily, Stair had one that he was been obsessed with for the past 6 months.
Yes, the most important TV show ever made. Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam takes place in the fictional year of UC 0079, where the Principality of Zeon has declared independence from the Earth Federation and subsequently launched a war for independence. This conflict comes to directly affect our protagonist, Amuro, and as he starts to pilot the titular Gundam. Gundam has spawned a huge franchise, like one of the biggest of all time, thanks to its Gunpla models, which some people are fans of on our Discord. And here, right now.
I wonder what you're talking about.
Yeah. Who could it be?
Not like we mentioned these already on the pod today.
And also there's a green ball named Haro.
Stair is very preoccupied with Haro.
Yeah. I love him. He's my son now.
He's only in this first episode. I don't think he does anything in episode 2.
Oh, yeah. But in episode 1, he does randomly grow in size for a couple shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, we get this old school opening, which we've already heard the Rabble talk about. I like it. So we get the classic little intro here that I'm sure Stair has memorized. And there's a thing here that I thought was a little wild. The war, which has been going on for like a year, I guess, killed half the population.
Well, the one shot we do get of the war is just colonies being blown up by spaceships or crashing onto the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, I guess that would kill a lot of people.
Yeah, these are big-ass colonies, these giant kilometer-long cylinders.
Yeah. Did we ever get into why the Zeon group decided to like just commit war atrocities after establishing freedom?
Well, yes and no. There is mention of how the Earth Federation has an economy and war potential 30 times that of Zeon, so they need a lightning-quick victory, which influenced their decision just to commit all the war crimes.
Nice.
And I mean, there is a constant theme. The Zeon is basically like a XP of World War II, Japan, and Germany.
Yeah,
they're bad.
I caught some of that, yeah.
Yes. It's not really on display in these first 2 episodes because it's from the civilian's perspective of this neutral colony. It just has no social context whatsoever for this military conflict destroying their homes.
Yeah, they're just like, man, we need to like evacuate. This is a bummer. I don't like this.
And then,
yeah.
Yeah. So, before people start like blowing up and shit, we get these cool mechs floating in.
Yes.
They just
fun fact.
Yeah.
They're inspired by chemical warfare equipment the Japanese army used during their invasion of China.
Interesting.
Oh, all right. So these big robot boys, they sort of just waltz in. It's kind of easy for them.
Well, it's a colony. It's not like a space fortress.
Yeah. So they go in there and they're doing some like recon and stuff. It seems weird to send big robots in to do recon.
Yeah, that doesn't make very much sense in retrospect.
Especially because in the next episode, Char just goes and does recon on his own without a big robot.
Yeah, and miraculously doesn't get shot, even though it's really kind of a funny shot where he's floating through space and he's like kind of dodging like all these laser guns. And it's like, man, if they would have just shot him there, then the whole series wouldn't happen. Arguably.
Yeah.
He's like, these guys can't shoot me from this distance. I'm fine here. This will be fine. And he is fine. He's right. He's correct. He's always correct, guys.
Yeah.
So we get these 3 robot guys and their Zaku 2s.
As we learn, they're called later.
They're spying on this space suburb, which is completely empty except for one person.
Yeah, this lady who what's her name? Star?
Frabo,
yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird names in here.
She goes and meets our who will become our protagonist, Amuro Ray.
Yes.
Who is
like on this weird bender. He's been up all night. He's just fiddling with these weird space electronics.
Yeah.
And he's in a white beater and shorts.
He's listening to Vaporwave.
Yeah, this is the first glimpse we get into Amuro's Asperger's. And ultimately what propels him...
Is that canon?
And no, it's not in the DSM-4 anymore.
What?
So they wouldn't have it in Universal Century.
Wait, is that what new types are? Spoilers.
Maybe.
I actually kind of, which is why I say that.
Some of them seem to be on the spectrum. Actually, there was a 30-page document of series setting notes made in pre-production that mentioned that Amuro does have a mother complex.
Well, that's just Tomino being Tomino. Like, he's the most, like, Sigmund Freud, like, influenced, like, mecha creator out there.
I have a question for Stairmaster. Now, like, the mecha genre's been around for a long ass time, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Gundam was revolutionary when it came out. Not at the time,
yes.
but like later.
At the time, it was revolutionary because it was the first. It was first like military themed, interpersonal people fighting each other. Back then, you'd have giant robots that were like superheroes, and they'd fight aliens like Voltron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or whatever that Zodiac one was.
Yes.
Which makes that one review about it not being realistic really funny because it was like the biggest injection of quote unquote realism into the genre that that they had even had up to that point, arguably.
Yes.
With the putting the horrors of war on display.
Like having a character actually be stressed out by combat.
Yeah, and getting fucking PTSD in real time, like
instead of just being CDI Zelda. Good.
When we talk about realism, we mean like we want these robots to be realistic, guys.
Yeah,
nothing else matters in terms of realism.
Also, they need to make decisions that make sense to me and sitting at home instead of them at a battlefield.
Yeah, these characters. Yeah, replace all the characters with the NJ meme man.
There's also a couple other things that I was, as we were watching, I wasn't sure if they were originated here or if they had been part of like the genre before, because I've never gone this far back to watch a mech series. And like the whole like father-son relationship here is obviously cribbed. It obviously gets like point blank stolen from in Evangelion.
I don't think that. I think the father-son stuff was novel for, like the interpersonal character dynamic stuff was novel on the part of Gundam.
I think it did influence Evangelion, and there are there are other things that I can point out that were like directly lifted for Evangelion. But I do want to point out that something that I kind of learned a while ago is that a lot of anime creators of the time kind of ended up inserting parent-child relationships like that into their work because that was kind of what they grew up with and what they knew.
Because this was the post-war Japan.
Yeah,
everyone's overworked to death and not spending any time with their kids.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh yeah, and that child shouting at the Zaku's later. That's based off of Tomino's childhood experience of surviving a bombing raid in World War II.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Interesting.
I believe he saw another kid shouting at the bombers.
Yeah,
like that.
I thought it was a little bit strange that such a young kid was shouting at them, but that's interesting that it was a thing.
And Amuro's colony having a military base put on it against the people's will is a direct reference to Okinawa.
Damn.
And like this doesn't get talked about in these first two episodes, but like new types are a Gundam thing.
Yes.
Is that like is this an invention of Gundam, or is this sort of a thing that had been in mecha before?
Sci-fi in this period had a lot of espers and telepath stuff. For some reason, I thought when we went to space that we would just develop psychic abilities. Tomino included that because he thought Gundam wouldn't be science fiction otherwise, unless there was like a speculation on the future of humanity.
Interesting.
But the new type stuff doesn't really get mentioned until the last third. There's some foreshadowing of him being an Esper, but
they kind of make up for it by having like every single future series deal with that heavily.
And the last thing here before we continue on with our recap. Now, I'm pretty sure this is just anime in general, but the protagonist being 14 years old as a pilot, that's like a recurring thing in mecha anime, or
young folk, yeah.
That's also directly lifted, it seems like, for Evangelion.
Yeah, there was also grown-up pilots, like the Shin Mazinger guys, like 20-something. You know,
I assume it's more of a marketing thing than anything, right?
Yeah, you want to have someone who's childish, but old enough that the kids watching can aspire to grow up to be.
Yeah, so, before cool-ass Char shows up, we get Amuro is informed that everyone's evacuating, so he's like, alright, I'm gonna get in the car and go. I guess you can get your driver's license at 14 in this colony.
Yeah.
So she also, what's her name? Frau Bo also mentions that it's bad manners to eat and drive. He's eating his breakfast while driving.
I didn't know that was part of driving etiquette.
Yeah.
I think that was manners. I think that would be more like driving safety, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to like keep your attention and like focus on the wheel when you're pounding down food.
They don't care about safety. They're Zoomers.
You're like really savoring your meal while driving, just like closing your eyes to really experience the full flavor.
Yeah, to experience the visual sensations of the flavor. So yeah, they
So yeah, the Federation ship shows up. It's
Yeah.
got a bunch to pick up the mobile suits the Federation's making. This is where we get Amuro's dad.
Yeah, he's like, they're talking, and he's like, wow, I think isn't this where Bright mentions he's like 19 or whatever?
Yes.
And he's like, wow, they have people that young fighting? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, what you gonna do?
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope my son doesn't become a child soldier. That'd be
Yeah.
awful.
So yeah, then we get Big Daddy Char's here,
Mhm.
and he's like, I sent you guys on a recon mission, what'd you guys find? He's like, oh, they're building Gundams, huh? Oh. It's like, they got a Gundam. What's that?
And yeah, so one of the recon guys decides he's going to gain some glory by blowing everything up.
Yeah. And like, that doesn't go well for Gene. His name is actually Gene.
Yeah, one
Wow.
of them's Gene, the other's Slender, and nobody remembers the third guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Gene's the one who gets real fucked up real bad later. And I guess they all do, but
So yeah, chaos ensues. Zaku attacks.
yeah, everyone starts trying to evacuate. Amuro opens up like the bomb shelter they're in, I guess.
Yes, because the battle breaks out and he says it's not going to be safe, so he tells him to go to the Federation ship that just arrived.
And it inadvertently gets most of them murdered.
Yeah, there's a lot of unintended consequences going on in this episode.
Yeah. So yeah, this Gene dude's going wild, going ham, some would say.
Yeah.
And he's trying. Amuro's trying to escape with the others, and these guys get wrecked.
Yeah, they get vaporized.
Yeah. Well, not really, because you see their bodies, but
Yeah, they get blown up by this rocket fired by the Federation, I think.
oh, it's by
Seems like
the Federation kills them.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of... You do see those two guys get blown up by the Federation rocket. And
Yeah.
that's how he gets the manual. The Sacred Tome.
Oh yeah, There's like a manual that falls off, and he opens and he says, "Huh? Gundam? Gundam?"
That's how they pronounce it in the dub. For the movies.
Oh boy.
We're brightest British for some reason.
Gundam. Mom, we've got a Gundam. So yeah, he's got this big classified book, and he flips through it, and he's like, I've learned everything.
He's like
Yeah.
laying there as this battle is going on. He's just laying there like a lazy teenage girl on her bed while he flips through this military manual, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, this could be a repeating GIF on the chill beats to relax
Yeah.
and study too.
Yeah. If you cut out the parts where there's people dying in the background, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he finds his dad, and his dad's like, Amuro, what are you doing here? I'm busy with work. Do not come to my job.
Yeah, and Amuro's like, do you care more about mobile suits than humans?
And he's like, we got to get out of here.
And you can just like the entire time, this entire interaction, I'm just seeing like Shinji and his dad, and like the entire basis for it, pretty much from these two.
Yeah. A lot of Evangelion is just Anno literalizing Gundam and shouting to the audience, don't you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
didn't you
much.
say Char's counterattack is pretty much the original end of Eva?
Yes, it's a
not-
very big influence on him.
That's well,
It's one of his favorite films.
it was, but overall, like if you watch Ideon be invoked, like that is actually the structure of it is a lot closer to End of Eva. It's basically Anno trying to recreate that movie.
With a little bit of the Char's counterattacks aesthetics.
Yeah.
So
And,
yeah.
and one of the characters was the inspiration for Asuka.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he after Frau Bo's family's obliterated along with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, both of them just have a breakdown.
Yeah, Amuro's
kinda
like, all right,
recovers.
you gotta get out of here, and like tears up as she's running away. I mean, I really wasn't. I'd
This is
heard
pretty
that,
fucking hardcore for 1979.
yeah, I had heard that Gundam was like pretty realistic in terms of its depiction of like war, but I was not expecting this level of like harrowing. Like, it's like I was watching a fucking episode of MASH. Only there's mobile suits and there's an M.
That's what the M in MASH stands for.
So you weren't expecting a family annihilation in episode 1?
No, I can't say I was going into it with a family annihilation in the books. But also, there's this whole scene where he gets in the Gundam. He's like, I guess this is the only thing I have left to do is fight back. Mm-hmm. And he gets in there. He ends up being a natural at it, sort of. But like,
he's very clumsy.
Well, yeah, but he's piloting it.
He manages to stand up.
He's a lot better than...
He's marginally better than Shinji.
He's a lot better than Shinji, I would say.
50% at least.
I'm pretty sure Shinji's first battle ends up with him almost in a coma, so he's doing better.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like he gets the hang of it pretty quick, but I like that like it's not just he gets in, it's like dun 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 go Gundam go. It's just like it takes him like a while. It takes him a little bit, and like the entire battle is him just like sort of stumbling through it. And like the only reason he wins is because the Gundam is like super powerful.
Yeah, it's just a complete outside context problem.
Yeah,
for Zeon.
I also like this bit here where he cuts Gene in half in his robot suit, and then the thing just explodes and causes a hole in the colony.
Yeah, all the mobile suits run off fusion reactors.
It's very cool. It's very cool because, like, I don't know if anyone watching this was expecting unintended, like, death from the hero.
Oh, yes, like, because you get to see his father get sucked into space.
Yeah. Now, his father didn't die, did he?
No.
I can't answer that. Well, I guess Elle just said no.
Oh.
He was in a spacesuit, I figured, so he was fine.
Yeah, for a while at least.
Oh, yikes.
So you see a bunch of people get like sucked out, and then he has to like carefully not blow up the next guy. He does kill him though, because it goes straight through the cockpit.
Yeah,
he says,
that part's
my bad.
That part is really like really kind of awesome in a way, because it's this genuinely tense scene where he is like sweating and he realizes what he's done, and he's actively trying to change his tactics to compensate for it. And he realizes that he has to take this laser sword and plunge it through to the center of the Zaku in order to kill the pilot. And he's grappling with both the fact that he has to take another life and the fact that he has to like ignore that thought and just make sure that he does it, or else he and the colony are like finished. He successfully like ends up shoving it through the center. And it's a very powerful like action.
Yes. Yeah, it's very good. It's what they call good shit.
Yeah.
And then
in the industry they call it excellent.
Yeah. The third guy, Slender, he escapes and comes back to Char, and Char's like, that Gundam must be pretty powerful. Can't wait to fight it.
He also has this line about the mistakes of youth.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be a running theme for the series.
Yeah, it's just completely like kind of out of context. Also, Char...
Gundam, the good decisions of youth.
Yeah. Char is kind of like Goku in that he sees somebody kill some other people. He's like, I really want to fight that guy. This ends with like Char's ship just carpet bombing the colony.
Yeah.
Right? Is there anything else?
No, that's pretty much the end of the first episode there.
And we get this weird credit music, which is like some sort of weird space-noid nationalist melody telling Amuro to remember his homeland.
Space-noid nationalist.
Yeah, that's what they're called in Gundam. People who live in space, who were born and live there.
Yeah, so we get to the second episode here, where we really get to see Char display his like his whole deal. So everybody's in like the like base and getting ready to escape, and there's like a whole
white base. aboard the white base.
Yeah.
The ship.
And there's like a hole that gets blown in through it, and like they have these little bubble gum pods that like close the hole.
What? Yeah. I mean, if you're living in space.
I still stand behind those. Those are badass. I love the idea.
Yeah,
of
those
that.
are cool. I want that.
Yeah, it's either that or like a tarp.
And then we get Char hanging out. He contacts his like lieutenant or like the guy in charge, and the guy's like, "We were just having a feast.
You were supposed to come."
Yeah, and he's like, "Sorry, I was busy with work."
Yeah, I was busy discovering like the greatest military secret of our enemies. And then his commander only gets slightly less pissed when he realizes this.
He doesn't even agree to have another feast. How sad.
So, he decides to go in on his own. Well, not on his own, but he goes in personally this time to investigate. And back over at the station, the captain of the base is like injured.
He got impaled with multiple metal chunks.
So Bright is like sort of the pseudo captain currently, but he's still following the orders of the captain.
And this is where we find out that like all the combat personnel died last episode.
Yeah.
So the refugees have to take over.
And this
gave me an idea for the pod. Actually, we should have Swanson become mortally wounded.
Okay.
Okay.
I can make that happen.
And continue being the host, but he's like in pain the entire time.
Oh, that's good audio, yeah.
And he's like, now it's time to move on to the news.
Al, hand me your heat axe. So I can make this happen.
We get like a fourth host, maybe Al here, and they would be like the Amaro sort of character.
Amaro, or Brett. What you mean like? Yes,
Amaro.
I'm just getting caught up on this podcasting thing. I read the manual, but I'm still figuring out the details.
And Swanson will be like, yes, I guess you're going to have to do.
So
we're counting on you.
Yeah, they find out that Amaro is pretty much a child, and they're like, what the fuck?
A child can't pilot the Gundam.
Even though they just saw it happen.
He just did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, well, I guess that's all we'll have to rely on for now. So we cut back to Frau and this lady that Stairmaster said the name of before.
Say like it's mentioned like twice.
Yeah. And
they're helping Tri-Edge people.
Yeah, and this dweeb comes in and he's like, I'm just running away from the explosions. And they're like, how dare you? Self-preservation is no good in war.
Yeah, and they just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
As he deserves.
And he apparently is, I guess, a pilot of some sort.
No, he's Amaro's classmate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't this the guy who said that he took like 2 classes?
Oh, no, you're thinking of Ryu, Jose, the big, beefy Latino man.
Who's this guy?
That's the guy who pilots the fighter at the end. You're thinking the gray-haired guy is just some dweeb.
Yeah, I really dislike that guy because he reminds me of somebody I knew in real life who I really didn't like.
Me.
No, it was just this guy who was equally selfish as the Gundam guy, and he just didn't care about anybody, and just he was not nice.
I think if we were in this situation, L, you would be the Ryu. You'd be like the big pillar of strength we all rely on.
Yeah.
Common sense. Well, Swanson would be Bright. It would just be chiding Kyo all the time.
That's true.
It's very true.
And Kyo would be Haro.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Kyo would be like a little robot pal hanging out.
Thank you, Swanson. Recap mode. Activate.
I appreciate that for once Stairmaster isn't the robot.
One thing I noticed is it seems like the Haro is at the peak of its intelligence at the beginning of this series, and all subsequent series have it just being not only like stupider but actively unhelpful. Like
well, in Zeta Gundam it takes a bullet for someone.
Oh, nice.
Maybe that's why it's so fucked up later.
I just kind of remind... Yeah.
And in Victory Gundam, it's the co-pilot of the Gundam.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess I was mostly thinking of the parts of Gundam Seed that I watched, where the Haro is just really crappy and is constantly interrupting.
Do they have like a Haro in Gundam Seed? Because I know they bring back the Zaku because they're all out of ideas in that one.
So what you're saying, Al, is that the Haro is kind of like the TV tuners hosts?
Yeah, they just get worse and worse with time. Their brains degrade.
Yes. As the episode goes by.
Yeah, thanks to all the terrible TV we've watched, our brains are just rotten.
I think it's just because of the thin air here in Denver.
Oh yeah, we're sort of like we're like Side 6 right now.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Sayla is like in her driving around, and she sees Char, and she takes out a gun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she did not fuck around.
No, I like this interaction here between her and Char, where she's like, "Who the hell are you?" And he takes off his helmet and then his mask, and then kicks the gun out of her hand.
Yes. She's momentarily stunned when she sees his face.
Yeah.
This is like one of two moments in the series when he takes the mask off.
And he's like, could this be a mysterious lady who's connected to me?
No, she's too strong.
So then he gets away.
Yes.
And gets into the building thanks to Amuro sort of just trying to get in.
Yes.
And
the Gundam is carrying the gun tank in.
Yeah. I like this bit here where he has to destroy all the other parts of the Gundam.
Yes.
Just because he can't have the enemy getting the secrets.
Yeah.
And then
that would have been like game over if that had happened.
This is the sequence where that Elle mentioned, where Char is just like, tons of people are firing lasers, and he's just like, huh, 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 huh.
Oh yeah. Like, Bright is just like, give everyone guns, so you see like old men and children shooting at Char. And he just
which might explain why he doesn't get hit. Yes, so sneaky Char here, he makes his way in. And then there's this like whole sequence where what happens next there?
Well, Bright shows up to shoot at him, and Char's like, oh, this guy actually knows how to use a gun, so he flees by throwing grenades at the wall.
Yeah.
Them.
And,
also, Char has this very festive pink spacesuit.
Yes, it's very attractive.
So Bright tells Amuro to kill them.
Yeah.
So he gets this intense sequence of Amuro aiming the gun at them. And having
that was another really good scene to highlight, because this time there's no mobile suit to provide
distance.
To provide the abstraction between the human and the fucking giant laser gun that you're holding towards them. And so he struggles a bunch with the prospect of killing another person before eventually just kind of firing like a madman. And of course, because he's firing like a madman, he doesn't end up hitting anybody. But
it's like the scene in Point Break where Keanu shoots.
Oh yeah, guy. It's very much like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that it's just he's firing all these lasers, and Char's like, "Don't worry, everybody, just hang back. We're just little humans. It's so hard to like pinpoint us exactly." Because this gun is made for giant mechs.
It is literally a battleship weapon.
So they make it back onto their ship, and before too long, the Red Comet appears.
Yes, Char gets in its customized Zaku.
Yeah. And this is a pretty cool fight.
Yes.
Where he's like, Amuro is like trying his best to.
Every time he pulls the trigger, Char moves out of the way at the last second.
Yeah. And like the only reason that Amuro even like survives this fight is because the Gundam is just very strong. Like he gets Char gets a direct hit on it, and he's still like standing, and that surprises him. Amuro is able to murder Slender, and all of Char's goons are just killed.
Yeah. Slender tries to do this bullet time dodges, but fails miserably.
And then Char retreats, and Amuro comes back, and Bright is like, you suck. Piece of
You
shit.
need to stop. You're using the Gundam as a crutch. You
Yeah.
stupid shit.
It's like, you're a piece of garbage.
And Amuro just freaks the fuck out.
There's a line by Bright where he's like, I don't care if you hate me, which is pretty brutal. But yeah, that's that is pretty much the end of that second episode. And we end with the promise of future Gundam battles, I guess. It's sort of a Star Wars-esque ending where like they're going off into space, and the bad guy has been thwarted but not defeated.
Mm-hmm. One thing that always kind of surprised me about these, the original Gundam and Ideon and stuff like that is that they kind of felt the need to have a battle in like every single episode, which kind of makes sense from the perspective of like, you gotta like keep the kids hooked and everything, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't make sense from like a budget perspective because, you've got a ton of moving parts and,
They were hoping to make it back on the toy sales, but the toy company botched it hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember who it's called, but like they were making metal die casts that looked like the original designs and not the show versions.
Interesting.
So they sold like shit. And it wasn't until Bandai started making model kits that they actually made good money off of it.
Well, as we all know, it worked out in the end because...
Yeah, spoilers, this show almost got canceled, but they got a few extra episodes to settle things up.
Damn.
Oh yeah, wasn't this first Gundam not like super popular until later?
It had a devoted fan base, but yeah, it didn't receive much popularity until they released a compilation movie, which was a big event in anime history. That was like one of the big first mass ones.
Wow. So yeah, that's it for these 2 episodes of Gundam we watched. Final thoughts?
I think it's cool when the Gundams fight.
Yes, I would agree.
It's obviously classic legendary show, but I just want to say that it's like I always find it very interesting to when you go back and actually watch something like this original historical document that like with the context of knowing that it spawned so much in its wake, like it's kind of this weird uncanny valley experience that you get watching the original thing. And it's kind of like every little imperfection or every little thing that is kind of stupid about it stands out because you expect it to be this perfect document. And I still love Gundam, and I think it's fucking awesome and amazing for what it is. But
you really hate Haro.
Yes. I'm starting to think I hate what Gundam Seed made Haro into, because it sounds like Haro is cool outside of that. But there's kind of a unique experience when you do that, and you go back and. You play an old game that was really influential, or you watch an old anime that was really influential.
Yeah, personally, I don't know too much about Gundam, to be honest. I've watched, what was it, G Gundam?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Gundam, and I made you watch Gundam Wing.
Very little of it.
Yes, coward.
Yeah, coward who's busy.
Hey, cowards are busy
coward.
Sometimes, Kyorain. Doesn't make them not cowards.
Cowards with a life.
I'm busy, but also scared.
Yeah. Welcome to 2020.
He has got great nerves from all the tutoring he's done.
Either way, though, on its own, without talking about any of the context around it, it seems pretty interesting. It's a good setup for a story. They've got some pretty gripping scenes here. Obviously, it's rough around the edges. It's an old program.
Yes.
But yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely going to give this a nice, good old-fashioned tune-in.
Yes, I'm going to give it a tune-in as well. I just want to say Char probably could have gotten that kill if he hadn't ran away at the last moment.
Yeah.
So remember, kids, stick-to-itiveness is a virtue.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm obviously giving this bad boy a tune in. It was nice. It was nice to see this 40-year-old show that is still
Still
got a good
bops.
still bops, still got a good message to it. Well, a message, I guess.
Don't blow up families.
Well, thank God we didn't have to watch Star Trek: The Lower Decks instead of this.
We probably lucked out, I think. Yeah, if you're a TV Tuners fan, you're wondering, like, hey, are they ever going to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks? The answer is no.
We watched Solar Opposites. Isn't that good enough for you people?
Yeah.
You people.
Maybe give us some money. We'll talk.
Yes.
But I ain't watching that shit for free. But yeah, Elle, what do you think? Tune in? I'm assuming.
A definite tune-in. I plan to watch all mainline Gundam series. I'm currently making my way through ZZ. That's where I'm at in the chronology.
Stare, what are your thoughts on ZZ? I heard I looked up some thoughts on it. Apparently, people were like got some real mood whiplash compared to the previous series.
Stare is a fake fan.
ZZ is a big tonal shift compared to even this. It's a bit more campy. It starts off with some kids in the junkyard stealing the Gundam with help from a minor antagonist from the last series and getting into hijinks.
Huh.
Yeah, so curious about where G Gundam stands in the series, because from what I can remember of watching G Gundam as a small child with a little propeller hat, it's nothing like this.
Yeah.
People really hated G Gundam when it came out, and then it kind of got what's the term?
Reevaluated. Yeah, thanks to America, probably.
Yeah.
Gundam Wing and G Gundam are pretty much my only experiences with the Gundam franchise. I feel like I remember watching like 2 episodes of Gundam Seed when it was briefly on Cartoon Network.
You hate to see it.
But I've never heard any good things about Gundam Seed, so I've never sought it out.
Which is weird because Gundam Seed is one of the more popular in the West series. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've heard good things about what's Iron-Blooded Orphans, but
people say that's a return to form.
But yeah, so that looks like it's a tune in on Mobile Suit Gundam.
You must watch this right now.
Yeah, it's the reverse Herzog.
Also, go watch Ideon and go play Xenogears and go watch Nadia. Go watch Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water.
Cut her feed.
This is the true nature of our reality.
I'm cutting off the oxygen.
The Demiurge and the Atlantis are real.
Quick, stop her before she talks about the Bosnian pyramids.
Uh-oh.
Those are
research.
Those are unfortunately fake.
That is a tune in, a must watch. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. And hey, if you guys like what you hear and you like the podcast, consider throwing us some money over at our Buy Me a Coffee page. It's Buy Me a Coffee TV/TV Tuners, or you can find the link at our Twitter page at TV Tuners. It's great. It's a good way to support the program, if that's your thing. And if not, then whatever.
If you don't give us money, at least tell your friends about the pod. Just tell them, hey, I was listening to this podcast while I was half asleep, and help me fall asleep. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe us. And that's about it for this week's episode of the show. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Till then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
Woo! Woo! Will you survive?
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster invented L?
Yes. I was born in a test tube, and I am the first genetically engineered homosexual.